Never, ever, ever sell on the first meeting. Buyers are smarter than ever before. People know if you're just a salesperson or you really give them a solution. The moment we say sales, 90% of people switch off.
Salespeople hate the title of a salesperson.
The moment the client says as cheap as possible, we salespeople jump and start justifying the price.
It's all about psychology at the end of the day.
85% mindset, 10% habits, 5% skill. So do you have any objections?
Yes, of course, the pricing now.
Price is the most important thing, yes? What I teach people is that price is probably the seventh thing. Sell me how to overcome the fears I'm not sharing with you.
People buy things from people who they like.
They trust and are like themselves. If you find yourself motivating salespeople, get rid of them because they should be self-motivated. Send them to your competition. Let them destroy their business.
What kind of problems you identify?
Egos. Unfortunately, in Dubai, English or Europeans with white skin, they think they're worth a lot more than anybody else. So they have an ego.
And do you think advisors will be replaced by AI?
The prospect can have a conversation with the AI and never know it's not a human. If you haven't built a relationship, closing is so difficult.
And you might have sent an invoice and the person ghosts you.
I have a letter, 25% of people ghosting will reply.
And what does it say? Very good afternoon, Dariush.
Thank you, Mr. Tariq, for inviting me to your beautiful office.
Thank you. We had a great game of pool and you beaten me just about 5 minutes ago, twice.
You let me win, but thank you so much.
That wasn't the case. You're just being very, very generous here. Well, thank you once again for being with me today. We need to learn the sales skills today. We need to help people grow their sales by 10x.
Yes.
Help them close 10x more deals.
Yes.
That's the idea today. And I really think that at any given point in time in our lives, we're either selling or being sold. And I think sales is completely misunderstood.
Completely.
Do you agree with that?
I agree. I think, would you agree that the moment we say sales, 90% of people switch off?
Yeah.
Because they think, I'm not a salesperson, but they have their own companies, they sell their services. Even parents have to sell going out to the kids.
Yeah.
So we're always selling. But unfortunately, the moment you say sale, people think you're like a second-hand car salesperson. Talk. But things have changed. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. Sales comes across as something very pushy. And to my knowledge, a lot of salespeople hate the title of a salesperson.
Yes.
They are either, calling themselves business development,
account
consultant,
manager, territory
advisor.
management.
Yeah.
Yes.
There are many titles around, and
What do your salespeople have on their business?
They have BD, business development, or consultants.
I would put down sales.
Yeah.
I say, be proud of the word sales. So I take away business development. I take everything. I just put down sales. Because what happens is, from my experience as a salesperson, the moment we BD, territory manager, whatever, account manager, they can't close. That card reminds them and the prospect that they're there to do a sale. So I'll put down sales. If you're embarrassed of it, wrong company.
Why are people embarrassed? Again, is it the mindset?
Because most people are nice people. I think what you said was right, that they think they're shoving something down somebody's throat and they don't want to. And it's the furthest from it. I know your company and I know you're all about education, finding out the pain factor of someone and offering them a solution. That's 2025 sales. But unfortunately, most people just want to sell a product or service.
Yeah.
They ask on average 2 or 3 questions. I promise you, no matter where I go, come with me, wherever we go, the most number of questions people ask is 2 or 3.
And that's extremely bad, actually. It's not even understanding the client properly, I guess.
No, and they wonder why they can't close deals.
Yeah.
Because their preparation and relationship building was wrong. All they want to do, their product or service, like a hot potato. They're dying to share it. Yeah, so I got into sales because people told me in the 80s that I was a good talker. So I'll make a good salesman. If somebody said that to me now, I'll be insulted. Because I want to be a great listener, not a great talker.
Not about talking, it's about listening. And
it's
no wonder... I've seen a lot of people who are not great at speaking or communication skills, but they do a lot better in sales than many other great speakers who are fluent in language.
Yes, because you have to have one enthusiasm about what you're doing. You have to have childlike enthusiasm when you talk to someone. So you have to really be intrigued and interested in their business. Intrigued in business. Why they come to Dubai? Why are they starting Rome? Why do they want to will? And ask minimum 15 questions before they even go into the pitch.
That's interesting. What kind of questions do you normally
Open-ended
teach people?
Questions.
Open-ended. And what
to
are
opens
open-ended
up a conversation.
questions?
Tell me what brought you here. What do you think of Dubai? Yes. What are your goals? How many other people are you speaking with, and why? What are your fears? Yes. So get a conversation going. What was your vision when you started this business? Yes. And tell me all about your successes, your failures, your lessons. So open up a conversation, but don't start up with a stupid compliment. Like, oh, nice jacket, or, did you go on holiday, or how are you? And these are all false questions, because if you've never met someone, you don't care about how they are. And also, if I'm going to sell to you, the last thing I want to do is, how are you? Because the conversation could go west. You could have had a bad day, and suddenly I'm listening to you complain about your wife leaving you. I'll just say, I hope you're having an amazing day. I'm here to solve potentially any headaches you have. So do you mind sharing with me lots of things when I ask you to find out what your pain is?
So I guess the open-ended questions are aimed at knowing the need of the person. But
Yes.
then also to build the rapport,
Yes.
right? To understand the
But
person.
it have to be real.
Right.
People know if you're real or not. They can see it.
Yeah.
They can see you just a salesperson, or you really give them a solution. They know it now. Buyers are smarter than ever before. So they know if you're real or not.
It's all about psychology at the end of
It's
the
all
day.
psychology.
Yeah.
Yes. All 85% mindset,
Right.
10% habits,
Yeah.
5% skill.
And they, classify human brain into two categories: left brain, right brain. Left brain is usually number driven.
Yes.
Right brain is usually,
Yes.
emotionally driven.
Yes.
And how do we distinguish the two?
Yes. Well, I don't
Asking
do any of
questions.
that. I don't do any of
You
that.
don't do.
I simplify things.
Okay.
I think when you and I meet and you selling me something, or I'm selling you something, I have fears stopping me from buying from you. But I'm not going to share your fears. I'm not going to share my fears because I don't know you. So I can't sit down and say, Tariq, thank you for coming to my office, but I'm really scared that you might oversell me something. I'm really scared that you might take my money and run. I'm really scared that I might, you take my money and your customer service is awful. I'm really scared that I'm going to give you my go-ahead and my wife's going to ask me, what the hell did you do? And I feel embarrassed. I'm really scared that I've done this before, made a quick decision, and I regretted it. So instead of selling the dream, I would like you as my salesperson to sell me how to overcome the fears that I'm not sharing with you. So if you can overcome my fears through your presentation, I'm like, I like Tariq. For whatever reason, he kind of knows my fears, right? And because you have an understanding of my fears I haven't shared with you yet, I automatically like you.
So that is absolutely correct. And a lot of people say, and it's a common saying as well, that people buy things from people who they like.
They trust, and are like themselves.
Correct.
So a salesperson's got to be like a chameleon. If somebody is enthusiastic, they're going to be enthusiastic. If they're slow, you talk slow. You have to mirror match all the time. Yes. And never, ever, ever sell on the first meeting. Always build a relationship.
Right.
Always build a relationship. And that's come through being really interested in them. If you find yourself talking too much, it's the wrong meeting.
Wouldn't it depend upon the nature of the product or service that you're selling? In some cases, you'd end up having multiple meetings or
Indeed.
phone conversations.
Yes.
In other cases, you'd probably nail the sale in the first communication.
I would personally never sell on the first appointment because sometimes you can close the deal and you haven't answered all the questions of the prospect. So you get the check, and then afterwards they ask you 1,000 questions because they have buyer's remorse. So what I do is I do real fact finding to make sure on my presentation, on my close, I'll overcome every single fear that I don't have after sales issues.
Right.
Because sometimes you can sign a deal too quickly,
Right.
and then the customer has buyer's remorse and they regret things and they backtrack. And you think, I wish I never had that client because it becomes such a nightmare.
Yeah. So let's try and simplify this for our viewers in terms of the products and services. I personally classify certain services or products which can actually be sold in the first conversation. They're very small ticket items. The value could be small, maybe $100 dirhams or maybe 1,000 dirhams or a couple of thousand dirhams. But higher value items could require better understanding
Yes.
of the customer's needs,
Yes.
and then
Well, from my understanding of your business,
Mm.
you're selling high ticket. So if it was a mobile phone and you just want a mobile phone and Apple has done all the marketing, on the phone, I'll send you a link, pay, done. Hotel booking, I'll send you a link, pay, done. Flight, I'll send you a link, pay, done. But with you, whether it's a will, it's a legal service, what you want to do is you want to bring them,
services,
you want to bring them back.
Yeah.
So you want to do further business with them. So I suggest take your time. But I'm talking about two-tier sales.
Yeah.
Because once you get into sell them a legal service or a business setup, there are other areas that you can upsell to. And that comes through thorough fact-finding.
That makes a lot of sense. And then you understand the need of the client at
You
a
hold
much
their hand
deeper,
and take him through the process.
a much deeper level. And what about the close-ended questions? I mean, would you like to ask a few questions to actually establish the budget, for example, or other aspects?
The thing is, you have a budget is a closed-ended question. What I would say is that what's your budget and how do you come up with that? You see, so somebody will say, well, as cheap as possible. Okay, and most salespeople are not rich. So the moment they leave your office or anybody's office, they're thinking all the client cares about is the best deal. So the moment the client says as cheap as possible, they go, I knew it. I knew it's all about price. They come back to the manager and say he wants a discount. What I teach people is that price is probably the seventh thing. What they want to do is to overcome their fears that they're not sharing with you. So price is something they say, it's a smokescreen. They say it just to derail you. And most weak salespeople jump and start justifying the price.
And that's where the communication goes wrong.
Yes, then they become the 80s sales justification.
Yes.
I never ever justify. I always ask questions. And the one in a meeting who asks the question is the one who's in power. And what you find, weak salespeople, the customer asks, they answer. They come back and say, how was your meeting? Really, really good. We got loads of engagement. And the customer never buys. Because all the salesman did is justify. Because they think just because Mr. Prospect has the money, they're God. They're kings. Right? But I don't think that way. You're lucky to do business with me because I'm going to give you profits. You just don't know it yet. So let's treat each other equally. Just because you got the cash doesn't make you king.
And what are the 3 best questions that you'd always teach people to ask?
Well, the thing, I can't really say that because I'm so interested in the prospect that my questions differ. I never ask, how are you? Because it doesn't really matter how they are. I'll just say, hope you're having an amazing day. So what I do, which is really good discipline, if it's a 2-tier meeting, I set the second meeting in the first meeting. So, and I would say to them, for instance, okay, I'm going to go and do a lot of work and I'm going to come back to you with a proposal. All I'm asking you to do is not to ignore me. If the answer is yes or no, I've got broad shoulders, I can take it. Just be honest with me and give me an answer. Because the last thing I want to do a lot of work and then you ghost me. And the last thing I want to do is phone you 6 times, you have 6 missed calls and ignore my call. That's disrespectful and I will never treat you like that. So can I get your commitment that whatever the answer is, you'll be honest with me? And secondly, I know how hard it is. I know, Tariq, how busy you are. Whilst I've got you here, because I don't want to spend half my time chasing you, let's set the appointment for the next meeting, shall we? And then you're not chasing. And they respect you for being honest.
So you have to be express about your expectations as a service provider or a salesperson. Yes.
Correct. Because what happens is, if you are being rejected the same way, you're only an idiot that you repeat the same mistakes, right?
Yeah, you're not being respected anyway. So
you earn respect. But here's the thing, Terry, most people hate confrontation. I love confrontation, but healthy confrontation. Okay? So I confront you with honesty, and you might be thinking, ooh, nobody's asked me that question before, but I respect him because he values his time. You see? And if I don't respect, and I go justify, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir, and here's my proposal, sir, what are you going to say? I'll think about it.
Yeah. Well, I think it takes real guts to actually set those expectations. A lot of people would get scared simply by just trying to set those expectations. And a lot of people might think that this is actually disrespectful, telling the client that you need to answer my call This is
No,
my
you get an
expectation of
agreement.
you.
You don't need to. I would really appreciate it if you answer my calls.
Yeah.
Because the last thing I want to do
Yeah.
is to chase you and you're avoiding me.
Yeah.
And I don't want you to do that and turn your phone upside down. And I feel, degraded and I feel like I'm pestering you, right? We're both professionals. And I know if the answer is no, just explain to me why. And I respect that for you.
Yeah. And when the client just simply ignores you, doesn't answer your call.
But they're being disrespectful, right?
Yeah.
Because they're going back. Now, the biggest pain with salespeople is being ghosted.
Yeah.
Because they didn't prepare the client beforehand.
Yeah.
So I prepared them right. And then, Mr. Tariq, on the second appointment, I'll send you the proposal 24 hours before, and I'd like to come and answer possibly any questions you have. On the second appointment, I will ask for a decision. Yes, no, or maybe. All I ask of you is to be honest with me. Would that be okay?
Makes sense.
People don't ask that.
Yeah.
And then, so what happens? It's like a relationship, a husband and wife, or a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship. Everybody has expectations, values, and boundaries, but they never share it. And because they haven't shared it from the beginning, they're disgruntled, they're upset, because the other person's stepping all over their boundaries. But if you say what my values or boundaries are, some people won't like it. Next. The only problem is that people are so protective of this prospect because they don't have enough prospects. They only have 2 golden eggs in this basket.
Yeah.
But if I had 20 eggs and one of them's rubbish, rotten, I'll throw it away. And when you throw the rotten egg away, 5 good ones come in. It's the energy of the universe.
Yeah. So the good ones, we're talking about leads now. I mean, a lot of people complain about the quality of the leads, for example.
It's the person who takes the call.
Yeah.
It's the weakness of the salesperson.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Let's say you're a weak lead that comes in and I take the call, but I promise you, if we walk past you, and it's not about your business, any business, you walk by and you hear a telesalesperson or a salesperson on the phone selling your services, wrong call. Somebody on the phone should sell the appointment, never the service. On the phone, you sell the appointment. Face to face, you sell the relationship.
And then the service.
And then the service. Because when you sell the relationship, it's not about what you need, Mr. Tariq. It's like you need a license for Dubai. But then if you really like me, you'll want to do business with me. You see? When the salespeople don't build the want, the emotion of a buy, then it becomes based on price. So negotiation, price, and you get no loyalty when it's on price. But if I say, you know what, I met this salesman, he's Tariq. It was just amazing. Answered all my questions. He was really interested in what I said. He was professional. He valued his time, his professionalism, his services. I want to do business with him. But you know what? He's 1,500 dirhams more than the other guys. But I feel good about it. I want to do business with him.
But I've seen a lot of the times that pricing does become an issue for
99% of the time, it's not an issue.
Really? Yeah.
99.
I've
It's
seen,
just we are brainwashed to think that way.
Yeah.
We brainwashed to think that way. If I save 2% of all your costs, you double your profits. If I increase your revenue by 5% across the board, what's going to happen to your business?
Yeah.
You see? But
Significantly.
unfortunately, at the moment, sales is machine gun.
Yeah.
I do the numbers, and one of them will hit the target. But I'd rather hit 2 people, close 1. A lot less effort, never justify. I explained to you, I've been in relationships when the other person has been insecure. I come in, where have you been, what have you done, and it's exhausting justifying yourself. Imagine that in a sales relationship, right? If I come in and I'm dancing with you, I can have 8 appointments in a day. But if I have an appointment where I'm justifying, after 2, I'm exhausted. So my productivity increases when I'm dancing with people, right? So for instance, let's do a role play. Are you happy doing a role play with me? So for instance, I come and see you about any service, business setup. And I say to you, what's important to you? And you say, price is the most important thing, yes? So, Tariq, thank you for asking me. What's the most important thing to you when you're choosing a company to do business with?
Well, in this case, you've said that price is very, very important because I'm trying to, set up a business and I don't have savings.
Amazing.
So it's very
important.
It's
your hard-earned money and
Yeah.
you just don't want to fruitlessly throw it away. Amazing. So I fully understand that price is the most important thing to you. True?
Yes, absolutely.
Let's put that aside.
Yeah.
I fully appreciate price is the most important thing. Let's put that aside. Knowing price is the most important thing to you. What's the second most important thing?
Well, I would understand the right place for the incorporation. So
Okay.
this is Very,
As
very
in
important, sir.
service, established,
Yes.
look after you, headache-free.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I need the right place. And then, of course, service is very important for me.
So price is the most important thing. Second is legal. It's the right thing. They're
Yeah.
established.
Yeah.
What would be the third thing you're looking
Service quality, I want to make sure that I'm served well, that people are available. If I'm calling someone, my incorporation is done in a timely
for? So
manner.
after sales service,
Yes,
regular
absolutely.
communication, that's really
Absolutely.
important.
That
too.
is very, very important.
So what would be the fourth?
Well, I'm taken care of throughout the journey of the company, basically,
Indeed.
if I need any services.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So price is the most important thing. You got this.
Yeah.
Have you ever had bad experiences that you want to not repeat?
Well, there are many, many experiences that I have had. Some of them, for example, going to a shop, for example, or a mall.
Indeed.
It's a mixed bag.
Yes.
So I've had my experiences.
Yes.
So I can't tell bad or good, but there are different experiences.
Until you want to make sure you don't find after you've spent their money. You want to
Yeah.
know beforehand you're making
Yeah.
the right decision.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting thing is that most of my happy clients said exactly the same thing to you as
Yeah.
you are.
Yeah.
They said price is the most important thing. But when we actually dug deep, although price is important, there's 4 or 5 other requirements as well. And all my happy clients felt just like you.
Yeah.
Right?
A common feeling across the board.
It's a
then.
common feeling
Yeah.
across the board. So tell me, what kind of business would you like to set up? Tell me about this. So what I've done is, by acknowledging that price is important, I've dealt with it.
And you've understood me well.
I understood
actually.
it.
You understood
Now
all
you
of my
feel I
concerns.
like
Yeah.
this guy because he's
Yeah.
not avoiding the price and he's not negotiating.
Yeah.
I kept referring to it. So by referring, sometimes you're dealing with the problem.
Yeah.
So now the guy's thinking, I like him. He's asked me about all my fears and I trust that he'll take care of it. But not once I tried to justify the price.
Yeah.
I just said, I understand your fears.
Yeah.
I understand your concern.
Well, in business setup, for example,
Yes.
the salesman has to advise as well. Advise
This
on
is
the-
what I would say.
Yeah.
I am not a business advisor.
Yeah.
I'm a salesman. So I know I'm going to ask you 100 questions in this meeting. I'll go back to the office and I'll do the homework and I'll make sure I'll give you the best presentation of what you exactly need. And if it ticks all the boxes and answers all your questions, let me take you through the list. Is there anything else I've missed? No, add it. If I can answer all your questions and it's within your budget, would you go ahead with me? Would you go ahead with me? I'm a salesman. I'm not a business
You're
setup
buying in
expert.
commitment here. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because what you're buying into is not me. We're building a relationship. But you're buying into my company with 100 people who their job is to look after you.
Yeah.
I'm just a hunter.
So now you've given me the proposal.
Yeah.
Time to handle the objections, I guess.
Now, before I see you on Thursday,
Uh-huh.
I know you're speaking to other people. You told me you're speaking to other people.
Yeah.
Can I request one thing? Make sure that I'm the last person you see.
That's an interesting one.
May I tell you why?
Yeah.
Because you've met 9 other people and you have a ton
Yeah.
of questions. I want to be able to answer questions and close you for the deal.
Yeah.
Right? I don't want to be the second person. You got 7 other people to meet, ask you for the deal, and you're going to say, no, I can't make a decision. I've got 7 other people to meet.
Yeah.
So can I request you make sure I'm the last person you see?
That's very brave, actually. Because you're risking the client going elsewhere. There
You're not
might be
risking
someone.
it. You are making sure
Yeah.
you get the deal. Because when I'm selling, it's like my children's life depends on it.
Yeah.
I don't take no for an I don't take prisoners. I don't do any. I close. I close 99% of my deals.
As long as you've got the commitment for the person to come to you in the end before a decision is made, right?
Yes. Just make sure I'm the last person because I'll answer all your questions.
Yeah. And by that time, the person would have educated himself or herself.
The guy's thinking he's brave.
Yeah.
They won't even bother.
Yeah.
They won't even, sometimes they don't even look at your proposal because they feel good about you. Right?
All psychology at the end of the
It's
day.
all psychology.
Yeah.
You have to, there's a wall between the salesperson and the prospect. Okay? Unfortunately, weak salespeople think they have to charm the person. They don't. They have to be serious. Because if you're going to give me your children's inheritance and what you worked for, you need to make sure you're dealing with a serious person. So I come in and try to charm you. You think, oh, he's soapy and creepy. I don't want to do business with and give him 30, 40, $20,000 of my hard-earned money. But if I'm serious and focused, they respect you. Because I respect your time.
Mm-hmm.
Please respect mine.
Before we move on, I have one simple question for you. Are you ready to take on and start your 10x journey? If yes, hit that subscribe button now. Because in every episode, we're diving deeper and deeper into mindset shifts, success strategies, and real stories to help you think bigger and grow faster. Are you in? If yes, subscribe now and let's take this journey together. So, what happens in that conversation now? The person has gone to 5 other people. You're the 6th person now, the last person to meet.
Yes. So, Mr. Tariq, we met last week. I put a proposal based on our last conversation. You wanted this, you wanted this, you wanted this. All this is covered. Do you have any questions that I haven't covered now that you found in the last week, meeting other people? And answer the questions. No, fantastic. Is there anything stopping you from making a decision right now then?
More of a commitment buying at this
Absolutely.
stage now. Yeah.
Absolutely. But along the way, sales is a numbers game, no matter how good you are. So for instance, let's say I meet 100 people and I get 2 deals. 98 say no. If I train your staff, 2 will go to 4. An optimist will go, oh my God, Darish's services or it's doubled my sales. The pessimist will go, still 96 said no.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a sale. Sales is a numbers game, right? Optimists see doubling sales. Pessimists go, still the majority don't buy. But the fact is that you got to kiss a lot of frogs before you get a prince. But every time I get a prince in disguise, I want to make sure I don't treat him like a frog. I treat him with the respect they deserve.
So what you're telling me is that closing is easy if you've done the difficult one.
Yes.
If you've handled the client well,
Taking
build the
your
relationship.
time, you asked minimum 15 questions, you didn't jump into the pitch, which is just habits.
Yeah.
Just habits. When I do training courses, it has to be 6 training sessions before a new habit comes in. A lot of companies hire a trainer and 1 or 2 and they expect change to happen. But it doesn't. It's repetition that forms habits.
So sales cycle is quite similar everywhere in these kind of services, I guess. Does it make a difference whether you're dealing with B2B or B2C sales?
I don't deal with any large corporates. Great question. Because the large corporates, people have different agendas. A B2C, somebody who's got small to medium-sized enterprises, one-man band, they make the decision, so I can close them. But if Pepsi-Cola came to me, there's 20 different decision makers. I don't have the time, I don't have the interest, and I can't be bothered. Yes, because I'm a closer. So all my clients are SMEs. I meet the owner, like yourself. He likes me, we do business, we put the terms and conditions, and I start tomorrow, and the sales go up 20% next month. Period, finished. And then I'll become your best friend. And you say, I'm meeting Dariush was the best thing that ever happened to me. That's how I roll. That's how I roll. I could close you now, correct? I could close you now, correct? And I haven't done anything. I've just talked with confidence.
Yeah, it's just a rapport building, asking right questions.
And you feel I can trust this guy. Dariush would take a bullet for me.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, what happens is a lot of people go wrong waiting for leads and build a social media platform. You know what? It's taken me 8 years to have 3.5 million followers on Instagram, right?
Yeah.
By that time, I would have starved if I was waiting for Instagram inquiries to come in, right?
Yeah.
But the best way to make money is dog and bone. Pick up the phone and talk to people. And you can make money tomorrow.
Right.
And work on your social media because the conversation I'm having people is different. You would have never called me if I didn't have such a big social media following and 2,000 videos. So people are coming saying to me now, years ago, it was, Dariush, what do you do? And how can I justify spending money with you? Now they're coming and saying, can I afford you? Because I've established myself in the market. So people are wondering now if they can afford me. They're not even questioning whether I deliver or not. It's a done deal.
It's a different
conversation
altogether.
Yeah.
Now, we've talked about the leads. Now, do you differentiate between, for example, social media leads and Google leads?
No.
You don't?
Because I don't care.
Yeah.
It's a numbers game. Call comes in, I have a really good dialogue, and then I'll find out that you're a time waster. Okay? Then I say, Tariq, by the sound of it, you're just shopping, right? When you're really serious and in a position that you want to go ahead, I would really appreciate a call. Would you like me to schedule a call? And you say, oh, okay, call me next January 2026. Okay, whilst we are, Mr. Tariq, you may know 3 people who could benefit from my services. Do you know people? Because from my experience, birds of a feather flock together. Entrepreneurs with entrepreneurs, doctors with doctors, nurses with nurses. So do you mind sharing 3 people's names and numbers with me that you would think could benefit from my services? And would you do me a favor? Call them and let them know I'll be calling them. 5 will say yes, 5 will say no. But every time, you don't have to do business with people for them to give you referrals. So if 5 say yes, I've got 15 new prospects. I'll just call. So whoever I meet, I ask for referrals.
Right.
Never have to advertise.
You're creating more opportunities
all
out
the
of
time.
any lead.
Anyone I come across.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the right approach. In terms of your experience training salespeople, what kind of problems you identify?
Egos.
What kind of egos we're talking about?
Passport. Unfortunately, in Dubai, what I find is that English or Europeans with white skin, they think they're worth a lot more than anybody else. So they have an ego. So I walk in and go, who is this brown, bald-headed guy? Who's going to teach me because I am, yes? And then I used to teach squash. And the moment I got in with a student, what do you think was the first thing they tried to do? Beat me. They want to see how good is he, right? So I had to thrash them 9-0, 9-0, 9-0 to win their respect. So what I find is that people from the East, they are so humble and so willing to learn because they want more. Then you got the people from the West who are a little bit comfortable. They come in, they think they know it because by nature, the British passport earns them 3 times the salary of an Indian passport, right?
Yeah.
But they don't have the same desire and the hunger and humbleness of an Indian person. Well, generally speaking, you can't speak. I'm sure there's white Europeans listening going, hey, listen, I'm humble. Good. Because if you have an ego, you come across arrogant. And I can't bear egos and arrogance. So you can never, I tell you who doesn't listen to me? Professors, highly educated people.
Why is that?
Because they've been conditioned to think their way is right. But then I bet you, if I pull out the bank statement, they're all poor. Spiritual people, life coaches, right? They're life coaches, but they all have no money, right? I go to these life coaching seminars, they're all dancing away, and I ask them 3 questions, they break down crying. Yes, because they don't have enough money to pay the rent.
And
but they're dancing away, right? And I say, okay, you want to be my coach? How much did you earn last year? How happy are you? Tell me about your personal. And they fall apart.
Wow.
Because they're highly educated, but they don't practice what they preach. And they can't take the heat when you ask them tough questions.
So it's a mindset, essentially.
All mindset.
It is the mindset to actually, and the hunger, to actually nail the numbers.
Yes.
To build
not
relationships.
Desperation. Not desperation.
Desperation is completely salesy.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's that confidence and the desire to close, to get the deal done.
Yeah.
You see? It's
add
that
value,
hunger.
essentially. Yeah.
The biggest problem is that when people are earning loads of money, they relax. But then I've taught real estate agencies where their salespeople are on commission only and they're playing mobile phone games. And they don't understand. I said, the guy's earning nothing and he's there playing computer games. They're the wrong people to have in your company. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Send them to your competition. Let them destroy their business. Bye.
Let me figure that out, Dariush.
Yes, send them to your competition.
I'll have to figure that one.
They will single-handedly terrorize your competition.
Yeah.
Don't waste time. If you find yourself motivating salespeople, get rid of them.
Yeah.
Because they should be self-motivated. All they want to do is teach you skills.
Yeah. So do you believe in that Pareto's law, 80-20? I mean,
100%.
Right. So
100%.
20% of the salespeople deliver 80% of the results.
You want your 20% to be superstars, and your 80% wanting to be superstars.
Yeah.
Not they've given up. Well, I'm the 80%.
80-20 principle does apply, but of course, there is hope in those 80% people.
Not necessarily. Okay. All my staff have vision boards.
Yeah.
So when I go in and I see that this particular salesperson has a Lexus as a car and a home for his children to live in, they giving me permission to micromanage them. They give me permission to kick their ass because I want to serve their kids. So the trust factor, the culture is very, very good. So they're saying, you're right. I dropped my standards a little bit. You're right. Thank you for kicking my butt because you care about my wife and kids, right? Because it's on my vision board. Okay, somebody comes in, all they want to do is drink at the weekend. Yes, they don't give you the permission to kick their butt. Does that make sense? So I've created a culture in my company. Everybody's happy. They take a bullet for me. I take a bullet for them. There's trust, clear communication, and they know it's tough love. My son, 31-year-old son, I love him more than anybody else in the world. But I'm toughest with him. Because I want to know when I'm gone, he's going to stand on his own 2 feet.
Yes.
So when I'm kicking his butt, he knows it's out of love. Not because I have anything to prove. For me to be a billionaire, I have to make sure all my salespeople are millionaires.
Absolutely. It starts with them
So I'll
first.
kick your butt. Do you want to be a millionaire? If not, don't fit with him where I want to go. Thank you. There was a story with Elon Musk I heard through a Tesla friend of mine who works for Tesla. Tesla regularly do updates on their cars.
Yeah.
Sometimes it might take an hour, it may take a couple of hours, yes? Sometimes minutes. So what happened was, unfortunately, this person in America did an update and did a time schedule. So loads of Teslas around the world stopped in the middle of driving because the updates were coming, right? Next day, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, Elon Musk comes in and sacks 2,000 people. He said, right, the leader and every single person in that software development site are fired because the brand suffered so badly because of this mistake.
Yeah.
And he doesn't fear, does he have anybody to replace them? Because his desire for his standing and his position in his company is so strong that he can replace people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Most salespeople think, most business owners think, I can't replace Fred. Who would sit in that seat? Who cares? Hire a Dariush who'll do 10 people's work.
Yeah, of course.
Look for that superstar.
Yeah.
Don't handle average.
Average is dangerous.
Yes.
Average is average. It creates mediocrity. And
Well,
it can be very dangerous.
Tony
for the
Robbins
company.
says, I know you know Tony Robbins. Tony says, what's the result if you're good in life? What's the result if you're good? What's the result if you're a good husband? What you're a good husband? What's the outcome?
You need to be a great husband, not good.
Well, your wife will leave you,
Yeah.
right? If you're a good husband, your wife will leave you.
Yeah.
So if you're a great husband, what's your result?
Yeah.
What's your result? Good. If you're a great husband,
Yeah.
you got a good marriage.
Yeah.
Well, who wants a good marriage?
I often give the example of a movie. Do you want to go and see an average movie?
Yes. But the difference is a movie ends in 90 minutes. This is life, right? This is prolonged agony. Okay. So, you have to be outstanding.
Yeah,
If you're
absolutely. You need to be
outstanding
great. There's no
husband,
other.
outstanding wife, you have an outstanding relationship. If you're an outstanding employee, and I think for you, I worry for you, Tariq, and I worry about your worries, I will make myself irreplaceable.
Yeah.
And I want to be irreplaceable in your company.
Yeah.
There'll never be another Dariush.
That
I
is
never
the
fear
sign
about-
of greatness. of
Yes,
course,
because I never fear about my job. I never look over my shoulders.
Yeah.
Nothing. I'm so secure because I know I might not be the best. I'm the hardest working.
Yeah.
I'm the most honest, most transparent.
But some people might be underconfident. They don't have great communication skills, for example, or they might be lacking in this or
if they
that.
have a desire,
Yeah.
you can teach them that.
Yeah.
If they lack the desire, let them go to your competition.
Yeah.
Because they've had 30 years of conditioning to be negative.
Yeah.
It's not your job to turn 30 years of conditioning into Mr. Superman. Yes, then you're a life coach business. Yes, you're a sales business. The only difference is the way we recruit, we see one person at a time. We do one-to-one interviews. Let's go through your CV. It's draining. So what I did was I created a 7-step recruitment process where I can interview 14 people in half an hour. And I only find the motivated person.
I need to learn that very quickly.
You do.
From you,
And what you need to do, your HR needs to consistently, whether you're full or not, even if all your spots are full, you always need to be recruiting because you're
Absolutely.
always looking for a Tariq.
Yeah.
You're always looking for a Dariush.
Yeah.
And then when the 80% are sitting here on their phones or talking about negativity, suddenly they see 40 people going into the room for interviews. They're thinking, maybe somebody's looking for my seats. I better do something.
Yeah.
I better lift my finger. I better do something. Better take action because this seat's not going to be here at this rate. I'm going to give it to somebody else.
Ultimately, it's the mindset and the desire.
Yes.
Being hungry, you can learn the skills.
And it comes from home.
Yes.
We don't teach that.
Correct. And the language, in my opinion, doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter how fluent you are in your language.
Not at all.
You can still sell.
Not at all. I'm sorry, I don't speak English.
Yeah.
But I tell you why. I will care for you more than any other language on the planet.
Yeah.
Okay? And if I'm ever stuck, I'll use Google Translate.
Yeah.
Because you're not buying me, you're
That
buying my
simple,
company.
Yeah.
And I've been here to know this company is amazing and they really take care of their customers.
Why do people give so much importance to fluency in language?
Tariq, why do people give so much importance to business cards?
Yeah.
I can't go out there unless I have a business card because you're a shit salesperson. Because you're hoping that business card is going to do your selling. So, in my business, I don't give a business card.
Yeah.
I don't give business cards. It's a waste of print.
Yeah.
You know what happens? The network, they give a business card and they hope the person rings and they never ring. You know what I say to my salespeople? Go and meet, say, Mr. Tariq, nice to meet you. In our company, we don't have business cards. Do you know why?
Why?
Because I take your number and I'll ring you and I'll make sure I'm in charge of this
Simple
relationship.
as that.
Because
Absolutely.
otherwise, I'll give you a business card like every other person you met. You'll throw it in the bin. We'll never hear from you.
Absolutely. Goes right into the bin straight away after. These days, it's
And they go,
irrelevant
oh
anyway.
my God,
Yeah.
what an amazing company. And he was so transparent and told me how it is. I like to do business with them
Yeah.
because they say it as it is.
Great. Now we've done the closing. What about after sales and referrals? How do we get those?
When I close someone,
Yeah.
no matter if I'm buying this or
Yeah.
if I'm buying a pen or I'm buying a house,
Yeah.
the moment I sign for something, I go through something called a buyer's remorse.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, oh my God, I just signed with this company. Did I do the right thing? Am I going to be laughed at? Am I going to be humiliated? Are they going to shit on me? Are they going to be this? Excuse me for swearing, but it's not too bad.
Absolutely fine.
So I don't use other swear words. So the moment I get the deal done, I send the client a letter or an email or a WhatsApp saying, or a voicemail. I don't do WhatsApp, I do voicemail. By the way, when you're communicating, a video message has 16 times more effectiveness than a voicemail,
Yeah.
8 times. And a voicemail has 8 times more effectiveness than a text message. So I only do 30-second video messages and people reply. So I would say,
So personal.
yes, and his face and it's nothing. Now, there are people who do video messages for 4 minutes. And the moment you see a 4-minute, you think time waster, I don't want to look, I'm too busy. I don't want a 4-minute message. So we have to practice how to send less than 30-second messages because you can get to the point and cut the chase instead of waffling. So I always send a message saying, hey, Ms. Tariq, it was an absolute pleasure meeting you. I've got your check and thank you so much. I just want to reassure you that our job starts today and you made the right decision. Because you're probably going through something called buyer's remorse and you're wondering if you made the right decision. I just want to say you have and I won't let you down. Thank you. And he goes, I was thinking about that. Now he's reassuring me it's going to be okay. I made the right decision. And then they'll become loyal forever.
Absolutely. And after sales service has to be
You just
taken
make
care
sure
of
the
by a
person
different
sends the
team, of
details
course.
that you promised. Yeah.
And how do you get referrals at this stage?
I get referrals the moment they sign,
Yeah.
not after the service has been done.
Yeah.
And if they say, no, I'm not interested and they're not good, I'll just get them 3 referrals anyway.
Yeah.
Ms. Tariq, I just realized we're not going to do business and what you want is not what we're looking for and we can't provide the service. So whilst we're here, you might know 3 people who could benefit from our services. And all I want to do is borrow your name to introduce ourselves to them. Would it be okay to get 3 names off you? And it's like an ice bucket challenge. If you say just names, they'll give you 1. If you say 3, they'll give you 3. And he said within the next 24 hours, they'll do it. And they said, I'll call them tomorrow and I'll introduce myself. Can you just let them know I'll be calling? Because I hate to be an annoying pest. I just want to be a guest. So you have a nice conversation.
And at this stage, you likely get good referrals because the client is still happy by
But if they're idiots,
they're
going to give you idiot referrals. If they're negative, because negative people hang around negative people. Good people around. So if I was you, I will go back to all my happy customers. I'll actually go back to all my customers and I'll get people to give referrals. Suddenly, your existing customers will give you referrals. Now, if somebody says, no, I'm not happy giving you 3 names, you think, fantastic. It's my chance to fix the problem. They don't trust you. Incredible client service. Cool.
Wow. Just to wrap it up, let's briefly talk about artificial intelligence. I mean, how is it changing the sales at the moment?
I'm probably going to be a supplier of yours. Because right now I have shares, 50% shares in a German company that we are going to replace all call centers, inbound and outbound. And I can do a demonstration with you where the prospect can have a conversation with the AI and never know it's not a human in any language. And then the AI will make the appointment and a human being will show up. and the AI will book it in a diary, send the invitation, everything without fail.
So these are
24
AI
hours a
agents, I
day.
guess, right?
AI agents,
Yeah.
outbound and inbound.
Yeah.
No holiday inquiries, no sick pay, no visas,
Yeah,
nothing.
of course.
And
Straightforward.
24 hours a day,
Yeah.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Incredible.
Beautiful. So they will do all the prep work for the advisor to kick in, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
So your efficiency goes through the roof.
Absolutely.
And it's self-teaching. So it keeps improving.
Yeah.
But the prospect can never tell it's not a human.
And do you think advisors will be replaced by AI at some point?
I think I remember when I came to Dubai and I had an online business and people were saying people don't like in Dubai paying online.
Yeah.
They wanted to pay cash at the door.
Yeah, that was the case for a long time. by the
Long
way.
time.
Yeah.
Until COVID came and suddenly everybody's paying online, right?
Yeah.
So right now, people still want to see face to face.
Yeah.
But if they know that your AI can only tell the truth,
Yeah.
right, they will sign up.
Yeah.
But right now, there's not enough trust between the human and the AI. They still want to look at your eyes and
Yeah.
feel the energy and sixth sense.
What about 10 years down the line?
I think people will be replaced.
Yeah.
I think we're looking at 2-day work weeks.
Yeah.
If your son, how old, 14?
15.
15,
Yeah.
okay? So if your son came to me as an advisor and said, look, my dad tells me I've got to work 5 days a week, like him, 7 days a week to become rich. Because he worked his ass off for 20 years to get where he is. And he says, so I say, hang on a second, son, let's go and meet Tariq. And we say, Mr. Tariq, how about I will introduce your son to a life where he does 1 day a week. Rest of the time he goes doing yoga, philanthropy work, spiritual work, educational, helps others, and he'll be richer than you and I ever. How would you like him to work his backside off like you and I? Or do you want him to have a life where he gets 6 days off, enhances us as a human, does 1 day's work and earns more than you and me?
More meaningful, of course.
Which one would you like?
6
The
days
second
off.
option.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to happen to
Yeah.
humanity.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, the Rockefellers said that we have to work 5 days a week or 6 days a week. Yes. Well, who said we can't change it to 1 day a week?
Yeah.
Who said that 20 years ago, we could travel around the world? Travel was the most amazing thing. Yes. Now everybody just buys tickets like it's a bus ticket.
Yeah. It's
Air
fluid
travel's
now.
become so easy.
Yeah.
So I think that's what's going to happen. We're going to work less and less with much higher rewards.
Yeah. Well, on that note, thank you so much, Dariush.
Thank
It's been
you.
a wonderful experience talking to you. And I think we have broken many, many myths about sales. And a lot of salespeople will take a lot of value from this conversation.
Thank you. I learned a
They'll
lot
start.
from you, Tariq.
Well, thank you.
Apart
We'll
from
start
pool.
providing. You've beaten me on that.
Next time.
So it's all about providing value, developing the relationship and the mindset, fixing your mindset. And if you can work on these three, I think you can be achieving 10x results in sales
and
easily.
Having the confidence
Yeah.
to deliver on your promise.
Yeah.
And actually, finally, if you don't mind me saying, enjoy money.
Yeah.
Most people don't like the energy
Yeah.
of money.
Yeah.
So they limit themselves to what they can earn.
They shy away.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a reason why Elon Musk is worth $350 billion. Because when he's talking to the US government, he talks about $100 billion contracts.
Yeah.
Most people won't even talk more than $100,000. So he has bigger conversations.
Of course.
So the moment you have a bigger mindset, the universe will bring you bigger money.
Yes. True. Absolutely true. Change the mindset. Fix it. Focus on the money as well. That's a lesson from here, I guess.
I honor you, my friend.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dariush.
Real pleasure meeting you.
Thank
you. I mean this from my heart. So
Thank you. Likewise.
Thank you so
Appreciate
much.
it. I created Think and Grow 10X because I believe that everyone has the potential to break through barriers and to achieve extraordinary success. If this video today brought you closer to your goals, then give it a like and share it with someone who's ready to take their journey of growth. Until next time, keep believing, keep thinking, and keep growing 10X.